Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody in America celebrating Thanksgiving today. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans all over the world celebrating Thanksgiving wherever you are today, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone else, because too bad you get one too. You know what we are about to do right now? We are about to say thank you to our friend Zombie Cleo. Oh no. Oh no. Whoa. He can punch me through this wall. That is not the intent. Okay, it is. He could have headbutted me so good to death right there. He can go through one thick walls. Why is there a pit there? That is a design flaw. Okay, there's some safety things we need to do around here. I was gonna say though, I wanted to talk a little bit about things I'm thankful for today. First thing I'm thankful for is my friend Zombie Cleo rolling in and improving my builds. Look at this. She put this little baby Tango in here to check on his board. You know what? We're going to give baby Tango a new thing from the Crybaby set. Here's the rare. Let's put that up there. Boom. There we go. Got the Recursion set, the Forget-Me-Not set, Toon Tower set, Breakable set. These are all coming together. Anyway, you know what I wanted to do, though, was not just recognize all the little tangos that Cleo has added here, but also to basically close out this build as my way of saying thank you to Tango for making something so joy-inspiring on our server. There were a few shortcuts I had to make early on here. Like, there wasn't an actual lodestone directly underneath this minecart. Well, guess what? Soon, there will be. Thanks to my good friend, Good Times with Scar, I'm going to use this netherite scrap that he provided, along with some gold he provided, in order to make my first lodestone ever on the server. I've never before made a lodestone. Chiseled stone surrounding one of those. So we're going to go over to our sawmill here and make 8 of these chiseled stone blocks, and then we will surround the ingot. There it is, lodestone made from chiseled stone blocks around a netherite ingot. We can just take this right here and slot it in directly underneath there. We have a compass that we can link to it. So now, country load, take me home to the place I belong. So it'll actually point to where that hopper is. Then, fake loot token. Look at that. Now, of course, then we need to trade that out, but we can put this in a frame and have folks play with it. I have recovered an item frame that, under the watchful eyes of this Ravager, I might place this try-me lodestone compass right here. For anyone else who wants to check that out, they can enjoy that. But if we really want to show Tango how much we appreciate him, we need to break apart and really understand one of the most brilliant pieces of Decked Out, the Soul Fire Detector. This is one of the most complicated pieces of machinery in the whole game, and he's got several of them just all throughout the whole thing. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is taking this part of the hallway here and building a soul flame detector, like where you punch the soul flame, like right here. I've saved a lot of space, got this all set aside, and I think that's what we are about to do now. Let's go ahead and break it down in the replay mod footage of Tango's thing that I recorded earlier. Time skip. Decked Out might be closed, but replay mod files are forever. That Ravager here, keeping his candlelight vigil by the skull. But you know what's also right here? One of those blue flame container things. Now, if you remember, these stairs would get pulled down, and that block would get removed, and we would then be able to see a place where we could punch some soul soil with a blue flame on it. But how? If we pass through this wall, you'll see the block with the blue flame is directly behind these 2 sticky pistons that are going to pull both of those blocks down to give us access there. Now, it seems like those are both controlled by a single redstone torch, which is going to get fed via this repeater, which is going to come from back here. There's a big complex system that Tango uses to determine which of these to power, we are not going to worry about that too much for ours. We are just going to have a straight-up switch that determines whether or not the thing is powered. So that's going to save us some trouble. But we do want to have it hooked up to some other fancy stuff to show that we actually understand how this works. Kind of. Now, behind the blue flame itself is an observer here. And you might ask, but Joe, if there's an observer there, how does the flame get lit? Well, he's got a dispenser here that will shoot a fire charge or flame charge down there to relight this if it got unlit. But anyway, so that observer is, as far as I can tell, gonna force a dispenser or dropper, I'm not sure which, I'm guessing a dropper, to feed into another dropper, which then triggers a comparator to push a piston to move an observer to register the flame was extinguished. If we can do three things, if we can move the blocks in front of the flame, ensure the flame is lit, and verify when the flame has become extinguished, then I think that we'll have achieved the goal of this exhibit in our build. So I'm going to head back to Cleo's decked out zoo area, and we will move forward with this, demonstrating our thanks for Tango and his ingenuity by trying to understand it. You know, it is just one of the best ways to understand how brilliant an artist is to just take what he did and just see if you can even approximate a copy of it. The more I examine this decked out thing, just the more convinced I am that I am so fortunate to play on the same server as Tango Tech. So let's continue our Thanksgiving build with a little bit of construction time. That's not a thing. I don't know. Let's go build it. Having extensively reviewed Tango Tech's build, I feel like I'm in a good place to get going on this. Now, you know, the first thing that we got to do is get the rough wall in place. You know, we don't have to have this be perfect or whatever, but, like, it would be nice if it wasn't just abjectly terribly bad. Now, in the short term, in order to get, like, the stairs where we need them and stuff like that, I'm just going to put these stairs like this. And then we're going to go ahead and get that chisel nether brick. That's going to go up here. Now, you might say, but what about all this? This doesn't go there, Joe. No, you're right, it doesn't. That is where the sticky pistons are going to rock. So we are going to grab those out of here and set them up like so. Oh, that's interesting. I might need to do this completely differently. I did not realize that. So, yeah, let's run up the stairs. This is the sort of thing that, like, you don't learn through observation, you learn through practice. So if we drop that there and drop that there. Wait, that can't possibly be right. No, it's not. So the chisel nether brick has to go here. That has to go there. We drop this here, and we put the sticky piston right there. Okay, excellent. You know, now what we're going to do next is we're going to take this block of iron, and the block of iron needs to go there with the redstone torch coming off it, which I, of course, did, in fact, remember to bring some redstone torches. Boom. So, hey, that can go that way, or it can pop down. So, the way we want this to work is the soul sand has to go behind the top, the extended piston there. You know what I'm realizing really, really quickly is that scaffolding is actually going to be pretty important here. Not the scaffolding that goes out that way. And also, I did a bad job with maybe some parts of this. That's okay. Let's get out our observers. Are we going to have the same problems with the observers we just had there? That is a great question. Yes, well, we're going to have that problem again where the thing goes that way. But I think the observer's going to face... Nope, it doesn't. So let's put the scaffold here. The observer will go there. That's even worse. So let's face that head on. Boom. We can apply that directly to our forehead. You know, folks, like, it's not distracting enough with the Ravager over here watching my every move. the spider I built for Zombie Cleo apparently now has a wandering trader on it. Can nothing not be commercialized? Is nothing sacred? I am just trying to get this thing going. You know, I've got different pieces of the puzzle over here. Like, for example, I got a switch so I could test to see if the wall part here is going to work. Like, realistically, this should have, like, a wall all around it. Which it doesn't yet. It will. So let's go ahead and get those there. Bring this up like so. Yeah. And then this'll actually look right. Okay. Yeah, see? This is good. Now, if we hit that switch again, which I probably can reach from here, I think. Yeah, so then this will be recessed properly like this. Now, in the original design, Tango always put 2 soul flames on either side to mark them, to, like, catch the eye. So, yeah, that is better than it was. I also found out, apparently, you can bake nether bricks in a furnace to make cracked nether bricks, which I had no idea about. Whoops. So, we might even go in through here and add some of those to just kind of break up the outline. I noticed he sometimes also did, like, 3-dimensional stuff around his parts of the build here, just to kind of give it a little bit of something. So, yeah, we can come up this way. We'll want to fill in all sorts of different parts of this, kind of mixing up the cracked bricks with the non-cracked bricks. Oh, that was part of the stairs. That was not part that I needed to do right there like that. Okay, core concept, though. We're going to keep mistakenly placing blocks against walls when we're meaning to fix ceilings and, you know, everything else we can. But I think, you know, just having one part of the mechanism, having it open, well, that's a start. It opens, it closes, but I know we can do more. So let's keep at it. Well, folks, I'm pretty happy with the wall I got here. I got a little window so you can see the observer get pushed when you extinguish the flame. I did run into some sort of problem. This wiring is pretty complex. There is a dropper that feeds into a hopper with a comparator. There's actually 2 separate line feeds that have to go in to get this thing started, which I think ties into how the soul, like, enchantment on the books works for those cards. Also, somehow, this button is stuck on, and I'm not sure where the signal is coming from at this point. It's kind of bizarre. But, like, normally a button would just be a pulse, right? But somewhere, it looks like it's brightest here, but is it coming out of something? Nothing underneath here. Wait, let's turn night into day real quick. As I examine the brightness here, it's visually apparent that the problem is happening right here. This wire coming in with the button is something that I engineered, not Tango. I'm trying to replicate the inputs from his system to here. Okay, wait, so when I pressed the button that time, it closed everything up and reset everything. Wait, so if I press the button again, well, it didn't keep that open, but it did fire another arrow, which is the stand-in for the flame charge. So, hold on. We're getting something done here. We might need to do a manual reset on some of this. Like, it's possible that I have this in the wrong... No, because that's going to self-reset from that signal. Oh, you know what I bet it is? I bet during the game, there's a pulse that tells it to set up, and a separate one that tells it to stay open. So the button needs to be connected to the pulse for this, maybe. But then we need a sustained thing to keep it on. Maybe they'll both work with a switch. Let's try that. Let's try just swapping this out for a switch. Okay. So in theory, if we flip the switch the other way, it closes. Let's swap out the arrows in here for a flame charge now. Open that up. Now this part is inverted because of the way things are at the moment. But if we take that and we put it in here, so it's in the right place, I think we now have this set up properly, such that punching out the soul flame extends that, which is going to send a signal back to the game to say, hey, give better loot at the end. So that is not bad. What do you think, little Tango?
I think you did a good job, Joe.
Well, thank you, Tango. And once again, thank you for making something so interesting. Like, this is incredibly complex. We've got all sorts of parts that are feeding signals to move items between droppers in order to complete, like I said, 3 primary actions. Relighting it, opening and closing the main door, and then sending data back. So, I think, here's the question though, is if we flip this switch, will it reset the whole thing at this point? Everything but that. Interesting. So I almost wonder if I should make... Yeah, how did... So... Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking maybe... So this part down here can't be continuously powered when it... Wait, this is the part that sends the reset signal. This is just a tiny part of decked out, and of course, it's very complex. So that going past there and into this block. So the observer lights this, sends something into here. So there's our lever. I'm assuming what's supposed to send it back, he's probably got some sort of a reset thing that he runs at the end of the game. At the end of the game, maybe he sends just a pulse to reset everything. Well, that still didn't reset that. Interesting. I mean, I don't want to have this set up so I have to manually push this back into here every time. Wait. There's 3 droppers in here? Or 3 levers? That's the problem. It's because I had more than one item. Maybe this already works perfectly. Great. Then we... No. Piston's still extended. Dang it. I thought I figured it out. I thought that it was just too many items. But no. I know what it is. It's that Tango doesn't reset the piston until the next time the game begins. Well, it went back in and back out. Oh. It's because this, it got flipped again when it got relit. So I think there should be actually a delay up here of 4. I mismatched that from my notes. Okay. Now it is properly reset. We did it, folks. We have rebuilt a tiny part of Tango's Decked Out with a modicum of understanding of how it works. Oh, this is brilliant. Everything from the way that this just creates one pulse and then feeds back in automatically, to the way that he uses two separate signals, although we're only using one here with our lever, to help randomize this. I think this is part of the randomization system. It's really, really brilliant stuff. If you want to learn some cool stuff, watch Tango Tech. But anyway, in closing, once again, what I am thankful for today most is to have so many incredible creative people in my life encouraging me to try to understand things I would never try to understand otherwise. And I want to say thank you to every one of you who makes it possible for me to do this, to learn and grow and become a better artist by supporting my art, whether it's just by viewing it or by leaving comments, clicking like, or, some people even give money. Hint, hint. That's an acceptable way to celebrate the arts if you're at a point in your life where you can do it. Let's go ahead and remove these extra blocks here. This glass here doesn't really actually have to be a part of this. And we can just pull this back up. And, whoops, there we go. Getting this all taken care of. If Tango saw this, he would probably recognize this. This would make sense to him. Let's remove that button. Okay. We have done it. We have demonstrated gratitude through personal growth. That's the other thing I wanted to hit on real quick, because this is the sort of thing I've been trying to teach my daughter, is that when you want to say thank you to someone, it shouldn't just end at saying thank you. You should remember the kindness that was done and try to repay that kindness, or to create similar kindnesses yourself, Make sure that kindness does not end at you. Be somebody who communicates it, moves it forward, that sort of thing. So, anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me here today on the Hermitcraft server for this small Thanksgiving celebration. One other person I need to thank this stream is Patreon sponsor Alex, who brings us this episode mid-roll ad-free. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a poem of my own devising, which I call Gratitude. Thanks, I say, over and over. Thanks, I say, but it's never enough. Not because others are ungrateful of my gratitude, but because what I owe to others, to their patience, to their kindness, cannot be repaid with words, or one word. Thanks, I say. Above and past that, thanks I must do. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.